In this video, we're going to learn about 10 active communication skills. Active communication skills is when you're speaking, you're active, you're engaged. So what are those skills? The first one, I start with number 3 actually, relaxation. First one is relaxation. When you start to speak, or when you're, let's say, especially when you're remote on video call, not in a meeting, on a video call, they'll see you as this 2x2 person. You're already not life size. You're very small, in that screen area. You want to come in as someone who's relaxed, right? Not someone who is stressed out, has lost their breath, and trying to, just say what they need to say and go, right? You want to come in centered. You want to take the right amount of pauses. And everyone has different routines that they follow for being centered. For some, maybe a little bit of meditation works. For me, that works. If I do some breathing exercises, if I sit still for a few minutes, clear my mind, I'm centered. I'm relaxed. For some, it's push-ups. Maybe that's their energy routine. Maybe that's their way to ground themselves. We all get butterflies when we are, put on the spot, when we have to give an update. It's hard, but it's very important to get better at verbal communication. And the first one is being relaxed. Being in total control, whether my hand stays here or stays here, or it just doesn't just move, right? I'm in control. I'm relaxed. That's important. Being relaxed, being centered, and figuring out what is your routine to feel relaxed. It's always going to be anxiety attacks when you are into a pretty critical meeting. Everyone gets that, but great leaders invest time in themselves to figure out a routine that works. Taking 3 deep breaths is a really good start. Let's go to the next one. Now we go from the top. Energy. Energy, energy, energy. Who wants to be in a meeting where the update goes like this? We did 3 OKRs, 4 of them we missed, and 2 of them are dependent on partner teams, so we were okay. Versus another update that goes, our team crushed 3 OKRs that were very important. We delivered results to so many audiences, and that's more engaging. It's more like the tone is different, right? The energy, the excitement of the conversation is different. So what energy you're bringing in your communication? Are you excited about that update? Or are you just saying it because you have to say it? You just have to, there's one other thing you have to do, and so you do it. Or are you genuinely excited? Energy is a really important ingredient. And energy is a decision. That's something I learned recently from my professor. Energy is a decision. Every one of us has an energy source. How much we tap into it is on to us. We have energy, tremendous energy within us. It's on us to figure out how we bring that energy out. So energy is a decision. You and I are energy powerhouses. And remember, at the end of it, when you're presenting, maybe there are 10 people, maybe there are 50 people. They're looking up to you. They're looking up for something not boring. So make it good. You don't want to be too all over the place and like just excited about, nothing. It's got to be genuineness in the energy that you bring. It's got to be a genuine passion, preparedness in your conversation, in your update. So energy is very important. Next one, physical expression. If your shoulders are like this, and then if you're like just talking, and you have no expression, you're just talking, as if the computer is just speaking, right? Then what's the difference between some update versus your update? So your physical expressions is important. How you use the power of your hands to project something big, something small. How are you aware of physical expressions of people around you? Are you exuding stress based on your physical expression? That's important to be aware of. So physical expression, how do you express yourselves in the best way possible? So your body language, very important, right? We talked about relaxation at the very beginning. It's very important to have your center. Eye contact. Well, I'm speaking to you right now. I'm looking at this camera phone, but I still need to talk to you. Similarly, to figure out ways in which you can build eye contact with people that are behind those screens, with people in your meeting room. It's equally important to look at each one of them and not just move from people to people. Establish an eye contact, deliver that message to that one person at a time, then pick the next one, go deliver that next message all the time, and then actually scan the room, build eye contact, talk to the people, talk to the soul that's behind their eyes. Establishing eye contact is very powerful. Eye contact. And you can really establish eye contact when you know that the other person is listening. But let's say you're trying to identify an eye contact with someone, hey, they're not even listening. You can't really establish eye contact, but at least you're aware of what's going on in your environment. It's very important to have eye contact. Spontaneity. You will always get asked questions that you don't have answers for. And everyone faces this. But do you just collapse when something that you don't know the answer? When you're asked a question that you don't have an answer, do you collapse, or can you just think on the spot? Can you acknowledge that, hey, you don't really know the answer, but the next day you're going to get back first thing in the morning? Or that you call up the right person who's right there to answer. It's very important to develop spontaneity and be aware that, hey, there's going to be some aspect of vulnerability that's needed to being spontaneous. But when you're vulnerable, when you're spontaneous, people build credibility. People build trust, because this leader is not just reading something that's written, that's all scripted. They're actually open. They're connecting with me. They're telling me what they know. They're telling me what they don't know. They're telling me it's important, and they're spontaneous. They're genuine. They're trustworthy. Spontaneity is very important. Breathing. So if I just keep talking, and then I don't even breathe, then I do that. Oh, that's bad. You want to pace yourself. You want to breathe regularly. Breathing is a source of energy. If you breathe well at the right time and at the right pauses, then you get energy. Then you'll be able to deliver message with the right tone and everything. It's the art of breathing. Is very important when you're communicating. Last bit on breathing. When you try to give an update, take a three long deep breath. Right? Pause before you answer. Think. It's okay. It's okay to have those 2 seconds pause. Like this one. I just took a 2-second pause. I was trying to formulate an answer. It's okay. Even that pause actually builds a little bit of tension between you and the audience. They're anticipating, so they're now getting to listen to you. So it's good to have that pause. And then pace yourself. Don't rush too much. Don't get excited too little or too much, right? Pace yourself, be centered, breathe, pause, be vulnerable. Breathing, voice, right? If you have a voice that is this tone, oh, you should be breathing, you should be taking, exercises that actually centers you. You should have a voice, you should have a tone, you should have, make sure that you communicate with energy. My tone is just like flat. But if I say, you should have energy, like look at my tone, energy, right? So when the tone's there, it feels musical. It feels like this person's actually talking to me. There's a bond, right? When I'm moving my hands, you see my hands are moving, I'm actually talking to you. I'm inviting you to listen to me. I'm inviting you to spread the energy that I have to share with you. It's very important to have the voice to modulate and use the power of your hands, your body language, how you go up, become big, how you go down. It's important to be aware and self-aware of that and use it to your advantage. Sometimes you just want to keep your hands here. You don't want to really move it. Sometimes you do want to move it because it gives you, ways to shape things, shape conversations. Use your body language and your voice tones very, very well. Listening. When someone asks you a question, if you don't really understand what they're asking, you should probably ask for a clarification. You need to focus and concentrate, which is another skill. You got to be listening, right? And when you answer, be brief and deep, right? So deep and brief. Don't go on and on and on and on. You're not getting to the point. You want to get to the point at the very first statement. So the person actually gets an answer. If it's a yes or no answer, you should answer with a yes or a no. If it's a question that has a number, you should answer with a number. You should not explain the whole thing and then say, then the number is X. It makes no sense. You want to listen. You want to listen to what the question is. You want to listen to the context. You don't understand, ask the context again. Ask for clarifying questions. Once you do understand it, you want to answer. Being brief, also deep, but not like too windy, where you just fall in love with your voice and then forget the fact that you need to be concise, right? Very important to be listening, to have the focus and concentration, to be 100% there, right? And finally, the last one, awareness. Everyone in your meeting has this deep desire to be present. And you as leader, is very important for you, each and every one of you, to acknowledge, go in and say, hey, you're important. Make sure that if you're doing video calls that they are listening, right? It's very important that they are part of the presentation, that you bring them along in this journey. Make that journey so good that they want to be part of this journey. If you're giving an update all the time for your team, it's probably a good idea to bring your team members along. Sometimes they give an update. Maybe they run your presentation. Maybe they run your staff meeting sometimes. It's great to coach some of your leaders as well. Finally, last bit that covers all of this, right? A great leader spends considerable time preparing and getting better at their verbal communications. Each of these things are very important. If you look at my YouTube videos, you'll probably not find any video where I'm talking with such level of concentration, where I'm talking with such clarity, where I'm talking with conviction, like in this video. So these skills can be taught. These skills can be learned. You and I can learn the power to communicate effectively. It requires practice. It requires coaching. So let's take that journey. Let's become the best communicators out there. Look at some of those TED Talks where Steve Jobs announces the Apple MacBook Air. Look at the way he did it in that 3 minutes. Or the iPhone launch. Or when Bill Gates was talking about malaria and he opened up a jar full of mosquitoes for all the people in the audience. Or Richard Feynman when he investigated, I believe, a famous crash. I forget right now. Challenger. Right? It's very important. All of these people, when they speak, when they use their voice, their tone, their body language, they're using the power. They've actually mastered some of these skills. And we can all do it. So hopefully, all of these skills were very important for me, at least in my learning. And let's all use them. Again, practice, practice, practice to get better at this.